4:30 movie.
I'm Reggie Jackson, and there are two things that my dad always taught me. Look out for the right-handed pitcher who throws a slider, but second, and more important, remember that kids are people too. Now here's the star of our show, Michael Young.
Whoa! Ha! I made it one time. How you doing? I'm Michael Young, and today on Kids Are People Too, we have a show that is packed with superstars. You just saw one of the biggest heroes in the sports world, and later on in the show, he's going to show us some of his famous slugging secrets. I'm talking about the one and only Reggie Jackson. And we're going to play a game with a man who's been striking people out for 29 years. It's a game that we've all played at one time or another, but I bet you've never played it his way. He's Lou Goldstein, the original Simon Says. Yeah. And you're also going to meet a man named Billy, whose older brother Jimmy just happens to be the President of the United States. And he's that strong-minded individualist, Billy Carter. Oh, listen, I want you to take a look at some more pictures right now and see if you recognize anyone. Did you ever see this guy before? No? All right, how about this one? All right, how about the third one? No? Well, how about this fourth guy? Yeah, well, that's a face you can't forget. In fact, the first three guys have gone out of their way to make sure we don't forget the face of the fourth. He's Alfred E. Newman, and they're part of the gang over at MaG magazine. Now, look at that lop-eared, crazy-headed guy. He's been showing up on the covers of magazines for over 25 years. And you know what? No matter what happens in the world, Alfred's attitude never changes. He always has the same comment on top of his tooth-gapped smirk. What? Me worry? Well, the staff behind MaG magazine, they have the same attitude. They don't care, and they never did. And that's why they can write articles like this. Fiddler made a goof. Rockhead. Jawed. the planet that went ape. The Odd Father. And the poop-sided down adventure. That must have been some morning after. Anyway, let's welcome MaG Magazine's editor, Al Feldstein, associate editor, Nick Meglin, and writer, Dick DeBartolo, the men behind the face of Alfred E. Newman. Hey. Come on up and join me on the block. There we go. Hey. You know, I just figured out why you guys... I figured out why you're so crazy. On the bottom of these blocks, it says MaD. That would be Meglin, Al, and Dick, right? How did you happen to choose Alfred E. Newman as your symbol?
Well, he kind of symbolized what the magazine was all about.
What?
Well, the whole world is going crazy, and the way to fight it off is to maintain your sense of humor. He's been around for years, and we just kind of adopted him as our mascot. We felt that he kind of symbolized the philosophy of the magazine.
You mean that character's face has been around?
Oh, yeah.
Where? I mean, where? I never saw it before, man.
Well, after we adopted him as our mascot, out of the woodwork came all of the copyright owners of various faces like him that had published him on postcards and things like that. And they all wanted a piece of the action. So we had to go back and trace Alfred's origin, and we found him.
Now, we have a picture there on the monitor. Is that one of the...
That's the original one that we found. It was a painless dentist slide for a Nickelodeon. When he used to go into the Nickelodeons and watch slideshows. And this was a slide for a painless dentist. Said it didn't hurt a bit. I don't know whether you could read. He was pointing to the...
Did you ever find anybody who looked like Alfred E. Newman?
Not until we met you, Mike.
There's no gap in this tooth, I promise.
There will be after the show.
No, seriously, have you ever run across anybody you thought really looked like it?
Well, we always get postcards and letters in from people, especially from the mothers. It's a pity, really. The mothers are always saying, well, doesn't my kid look like Alfred E. Newman? I guess they want us to buy him and hire him for a movie or something. I don't know.
Now, who is this? This looks awful. Another picture on our monitor.
Well, somebody wrote in and said that Prince Charles, when he was 12 years old, I mean, that's quite a while ago.
That's Prince Charles?
That's Prince Charles, yes. Said that
he looked like Alfred.
It looked like. And then we got a letter from Buckingham Palace on Buckingham Palace Stationery.
Right.
And it said, I do not absolutely look like Alfred E. Newman. You can jolly well stow it. Charles P.
Seriously?
Seriously. And we had it investigated, and we decided that it was a legitimate letter because you have to know a little bit about British royalty to know that he would sign a Charles Princess.
Isn't that something? That's great. What was the best-selling issue that you ever had, Dick?
The Poseidon. I brought another copy of it with me. The Poseidon adventure issue, a takeoff on the disaster movie Poseidon. Upside Down.
Right.
Sold close to 3 million copies. And, you think it's all fun and games up at MAD, but we have a lot of serious stuff, too. I have the Poseidon issue here.
That's mine.
Leave it. Upside Down, which was one of the only issues that Alfred E. Newman was kind of absent from the issue. I mean, he's there, but he's
everybody
like down. That's true. Everybody recognized his sneakers.
Well, why do you think it sold so many? Just the particular story got it?
I think when you get hit movies, people love to read the satires. Irwin Allen, the producer of that movie, actually wrote in and bought 100 copies for the staff because...
His legal staff.
His legal staff.
His legal staff, right. To read it, they were suing you, right?
Right. Because the cast loves to read satires on their own stuff.
I think these guys are really weird, don't you think so? They're great. That's weird in a wonderful way. Would you be willing to answer questions from our audience?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Well, you're gonna anyway. Got some questions, everybody? All right. We've got one down here. All right, jump up. Tell us who you are.
Debbie Snow.
All right, Debbie Ann.
Why did you use Alfred E. Newman for the cover of Mad magazine?
He looked like the kind of person that would symbolize MAD and the philosophy of MAD, which is don't worry about anything, even though the world is going crazy. Just maintain your sense of humor.
All right, stand up. Tell us who you are.
I'm Patty Manrose.
All right, Penny, go.
Okay, what's the best way to get started to write comedy?
Buy a typewriter.
And then after that?
You can buy a book called The Writer's Digest. It lists every magazine in the address and who you can send stuff to. And just start writing away.
And if you write to MAD and you have a great idea, please enclose a self-addressed stamped envelope.
Hey, we've all been reading Mad Magazine for a long time, and we really want to thank Nick Meglin and Al Feldstein and Dick DeBartolo for giving us so much pleasure for so long. Yeah. And don't go away, because later in the show, we're going to be talking to the president's brother, Billy Carter, and next, Reggie Jackson's coming up to bat. Should be a hit right here on Kids Are People Too. Yay! Competitions around the world for the last 29 years. He's a regular on the ABC Superstars, so let's give a big welcome to Lou Goldstein. What's the matter? Oh. Okay, being funny with me, aren't you? Simon Says, let's welcome Lou Goldstein.
You know the command.
Oh, Lou, you'd think I'd learn.
I don't move unless I hear it.
Okay. Wait, I got the first question for you. Now, you ready for this? Why Simon Says? Why not Michael Says, Fred Says, Sally Says?
Well, Mike originally used to be called O'Grady Says.
Was it seriously?
That's right, O'Grady Says. But Simon Says is easier to fool people. It sounds like one word.
Ah, so they don't pick it up as
They don't pick it up as fast.
Oh, Grady says. I can see why
See,
they
for
changed it.
example, I'll show you.
All right.
Come on over here.
All right.
You're out. Simon didn't tell you to do it. Now, do you understand?
Oh, no.
See how fast it goes?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. What about this audience? You think they could play Simon Says?
Oh, they're super.
How about giving us a test here and testing a few
All
of them?
righty.
All right? We go
Simon
into the
says, let's try it. Simon says, sit up straight. Simon says, it's all commands, all requests, all statements preceded by Simon says you obey. Any other command you don't. Now, everybody, Simon says, clap your hands once. A little pep again. You're out. Now, do you understand the game? Those who didn't do it, raise your hand. Now you're out. So what's the difference? You understand? Now, everybody, Simon says, everybody, come on, Simon says, place your hands on your shoulders. Simon says, hands down. Don't be scared. Have fun, kid. Simon says, everybody, place your hands on your hips. Look at your hips. Simon says, shoulders blaze. Simon says, overhead stretch. And have a little fun. Simon says, wave your hand. Hold it. Keep waving. Nobody's suing you. Cheat a little. So what? Simon says, hold it. Hands down. You're all out. Simon says, hands down. Please be honest. Since I started, who didn't make one mistake? Raise your hand. Now you're out. Now do you understand? Mike.
Yes.
Suppose we get a few of the guys.
Why don't you go grab a few kids from my audience and bring them back on stage?
The five kids, let's go. The five guys, let's go. You. Here we go. And how about the superstars?
Why don't we have some superstars from our show out here to join these people, right?
Out here.
All right, let's bring out the people from Mad Magazine, Dick DeBartolo, Nick Meglin, Al Philstein.
You come over.
All right.
On this red line.
And the Bat Boy from the New York Yankees, Jimmy Plattner.
That's right.
Billy Carter. All right.
Behind them.
Billy Carter and Reggie Jackson.
All right, ready?
Tell us where we're going to stand.
Well, I'll tell you what.
What?
I want you in a game.
You want? No. I'll stand and watch because I'll lose.
I'm glad you arrived on time.
Reggie's here.
All righty. Simon says, Reggie, get behind him. Simon says, over here. Simon says, young man, get behind him. He'll be leaving first. This way you'll hide. Simon says, over here. Simon says, get behind Al. Jimmy, get behind him. Billy Carter, you come over here. Billy boy. Simon says, back up a little. Simon says, over there. Simon says, get behind Reggie, you'll be safer. Simon says, now. Simon says, forward stretch. Simon says, young man, get behind that young man. Simon says today. Simon says, touch the shoulder blades of the one in front. Go. Simon says, back up a little. No, not all of you. Simon says, you come up. Simon says, just stretch. Simon says, hands down. Are you scared, Reg?
Yeah.
You're out. No, Reg. Anybody who can do what you did, you got a chance. Simon says, shoulders face. Simon says, hands down. Move a little to right. You're out again. Now, do you understand? I'll tell you what, Mike, one chance. Come on back. You're out again. Now, do you understand? Simon says, walking in place. Going again. One thing you are, consistent. Simon says, left. Peace. Left is the other way, Mike. Mike. You're not out. Simon says, right. Peace. Simon says, hold it. We're facing the front, kid. Simon says, that's place. Simon says, everybody bend back. One, back is the other way, Reggie. Reggie, back is the other way. Reggie, you're not out. 2 in a row. You hit 3 home runs in a row, we'll go for that. Simon says, up 2, hands down. You're out. Have a nice trip. Take his place. You can go with him. Simon says, over here. Simon says, over here. Simon says, over here. You can put your hands down, Mike. Simon says, put your hands down, Mike. What's your last name? Simon says, your last name.
Young.
Oh, say it loud. You're terrific. Shake it. You're out. There we go. Simon says, over here. You can put your hands down. Simon says, put your hands up. That's up. You're out. Here we go. You can move to the side. Simon says, over to the side. Simon says, forward stretch. Simon says, hands down. Forward stretch. 1. Simon says, forward stretch. 1. Over here, 2. Nobody saw you. Don't worry. Over here, 2. That's all right. You got a niche. Simon says, over here, 2. Wave your hands. If you're waving, just stop. Simon says hands down. Move a little to your right. You're terrific. Shake. Simon. So long. Over here, Billy. Now you're out. But wait a minute. Can you put the president's brother out? Billy, come on back. I'll give you a chance. Simon says, come on back. Billy, you scared? Simon says, are you scared?
No.
Say it loud. You're terrific. Shake. You're out. Go on, Billy. Simon says, over to your right. Simon says, over to your right. Over here, young man. Simon says, over here. Simon says, over. Smile. You're out. That's it. Bye-bye. Let's go. Simon says, you're out. Simon says, over here. Simon says, over. Smile. Simon says, smile. Simon says, move over to your right. Simon says, you young man, take a deep breath. In. Out. Well, we'll see how long he holds it. Simon says, out. Over to your right. Simon says, move over to your left. That's your left. Have a nice trip. That's it. That's it. You got the rhythm. Simon says, over here, Reg. Don't worry, Reggie. You will win. Simon says, over to your right. 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 Smile. Simon says, smile. Simon says, over to your right. Here we go. Simon says, hips place. Simon says, hands down. Sir, with your speed, you need his home runs. Hips place. Simon says, hips place. You can put your hands down, sir. Simon says, put your hands up. That's up. Have a nice trip. That's it. Put your hands down. Simon says, put your hands up. That's up. You can go too. Simon says, now over here. Simon says, face each other. Simon says, this is your name. Simon said, Lisa. Simon says, your name.
Reggie.
Simon says, this is superstar. Reggie against Lisa. Simon says, grip each other's right hand. Simon says, shake. Simon says, shake hard. Hold it. You're both out. It's a tie. It's a tie. Am I right? Simon says, give him a kiss. It's a tie.
Thank you, what we say. That is really good. Well, I think we learned something, got some good advice there. Discipline, right, Reggie?
You know, Mike and Lou and Lisa, and all the people listening and all the kids in the audience, I've probably been at I'd say 10 different places with Lou. I've seen him run his thing 10 to 15 times, and I have never seen anyone beat him. And you can go slow, you can think, you can try, but he gets you with his stop shaking, or Simon says, put your hand up, and you go down, you know?
Okay, let's get some good advice from our friends Alex and Annie.
No, Michael.
What?
Simon says, let's get some good advice from our friends Alex and Annie.
Some people never learn. Here's Alex and Annie.